You know what? I keep saying this to people. Like, if I didn't have my ADHD, OCD, my Asperger's, the good old neurodiverse package, I wouldn't know who I
Always
would
package.
be. And I tell you what, I would be awful at my job if I didn't have them. I
Yes.
wouldn't be able to multitask. Like most of the people in the production team have some sort of neurodiverse thing going on because it makes us better as our job. Like I would not be able to schedule and multitask and prioritize and be as organized as I am without my OCD and ADHD. There's just no way. I'd be awful at my job.
100%. I'd go as far as to say it's actually a superpower.
Oh,
Do you
it
know what I
totally
mean?
is.
Yeah.
Until I see something
Yeah.
flying past, I'm like, what's going on over there?
Yeah.
Rage Whale. Special guest episode.
Thanks for returning. Today we're excited to welcome Tash on Telly. She is on social media, so do give her a follow. She does lots of movie reviews and movie-related content. She also worked in the TV and movie industry and has now moved into the gaming industry, which is very exciting for James to discuss. She was also in the TV series Skins back on E4, and we discussed with her neurodivergent traits, her health, and everything she loves about the TV and movie industry. Enjoy. Welcome back, everyone. We have another special guest with us today. We have Tash from Tash on Telly on Instagram and TikTok, who is someone that we all follow because she does some great content around movies and TV, and we've been chatting for a little bit recently. And yeah, it's a pleasure to have you on. Thank you very much. And Tash, do you want to introduce yourself and a little bit and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Oh, thanks, God. My name's Natasha, Tash. I'd go by whatever you like. I've loved film and TV since I was little. I did my degree in television production management, and then I didn't get into film and television after you do university because that's what happens. Um, I actually then went on to work in travel for like 10 years. And then this little thing happened. I don't know if you know it. It was called the pandemic.
Not
Sounds
familiar.
Everyone stopped traveling. So then I got made unemployed, as you do. And then I was like, oh, maybe I should like get that degree out of the bag, get that back in, see if I can use that. So I found a job on a movie doing travel. So I kind of managed to link those two things up, and then I started working in film and television. It all worked out in the end.
Bit of synergy. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So can you tell us anything about the first one you worked on then?
Yes, so I worked on I can say this. I've got this massive sign above my computer saying, "Don't say names, don't get sued."
Yeah. Also, just let me know if you say something, if you misspeak or anything, just tell me and I'll delete it. Don't worry.
Yeah, no worries. Let's not get me sued.
No, especially as you've got that job now. We don't want to.
Is it something that's not out yet then?
Oh no, it is out. I'm not going to say its name. It didn't do very well, and I bet you anything, none of you guys saw it.
Well,
But there
What
was a lot.
channel was it on at least?
Channel. It was
a movie.
it was a
movie.
movie.
Oh,
Yeah, it was a movie, and it
what
didn't come
platform
out.
was it on then?
I don't even know. I think it's actually on Prime now. I'll tell you guys as long as you don't put it in. Yeah, it's called. Yeah, it stars Ben Kingsley, and the reason it probably didn't do so well it's because there's an actor in it who got a lot of controversy. Yeah,
Right.
they all go to IMDb to check.
Yeah,
Wow.
found it.
Yeah.
You're allowed to talk about this.
How old
I'm
is the
not allowed
movie?
to talk about
How old
this.
is, how old is the movie?
Hmm?
How old is the movie?
Probably only like 3 years old.
Yeah, 2022.
That's
Yeah, we made it during the pandemic. So I was in
Where's the magic
charge
number? You're
of
allowed to discuss things.
yeah, so I was in charge of COVID tests a lot most of the time. Oh, doing COVID during the pandemic, during on a movie, oh, great fun.
But
You're just
that's
the
quite
best
dangerous
friend of
as well.
everyone.
Yeah, that's quite dangerous job.
Dang.
I
It really
knew I knew I
was,
was going to
but
guess who the dodgy guy was. I found the guy. I know exactly who you're on about.
you know exactly who I'm on about now. Yeah,
Yes.
I had a very weird encounter with said person.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Wait, I need to join this because this is like
Yeah.
a secret kind of gang you guys have, and I
Ezra
haven't.
Ezra
On
Miller.
IMDb, trying to
Ezra
figure out
Miller
who
from
it
The
is.
Flash.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Creepy McCreepson.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
go on. What was your
And that
meeting with him
was
like?
that was during like the whole part where that was during that whole bit when before it came out, like so it was something about him keeping a family in a house or something.
Yeah, he did
So that
kidnap someone.
yeah, something like that. He was accused of burglary and kidnap or something.
Didn't he like
And
handcuff
that was
someone
all
to a
going on
radiator or
while
something?
he was working on our movie.
Was there not enough drama in his life that he had to create his own? Like, I mean,
He's a
what
wild dude. Wild dude.
he was in. We need to talk
Yeah.
about Kevin. No offense, we need to talk about Kevin, not this Kevin. We need to talk about Kevin. He was in that, and he was a creepy, strange.
I think
person.
he's a brilliant actor. He's
He's a great
really good
actor.
and I
But
really
I saw one really weird clip of him with a fan, and you can find it somewhere. And he says, the guy's like, "Oh, can we get a picture?" He's like, "Oh yeah. You want a picture? You want to make a video with me? Do you want me to punch you in the face?" And he's like, "What? No." He's like, "I can hurt you. It's fine. I can hurt you."
I
And
can
it's like,
remember the PR nightmare that when it was unraveling. It was like you can imagine his manager being like, "Right, Ezra, right about the keeping people hostage. Let's just like keep our head down for a bit, okay? Next week, Ezra,
God, yeah.
have you been
It
stalking
was
someone again? Yeah, okay, just right. Just you're famous, you know. You got millions of dollars. Just try not to break the law for like just while we're doing this movie next week. You've been stalking someone again, haven't you? He's like, yeah, sorry. Just couldn't. He's
just
just a wild
wild.
guy, isn't he?
Yeah, no, it was a bit crazy. So I'm glad he was only on the shoot for a couple of days. And I was like, bye.
But the
no.
only film he did after, he did two films after that,
Yeah,
Fantastic Beasts and The Flash. But I guess they were probably filmed at the same
all
time.
filmed before.
He was
Yeah,
great in Fantastic Beasts. He was kind of paired up with Colin Farrell's character. It was really good,
it's a shame.
actually.
He's a love. He's a great actor. He is. Unfortunately, but there was like other great stars in that movie that I did, and they were so lovely. Like Ben Kingsley, Sir Ben Kingsley. Like
Yeah.
That would
what
be
a
awesome.
legend. We called him SBK. Just an absolute what a guy. I actually met him for the first not the first hours. I basically had to like make sure his fridge was all stocked up and stuff. Um of all these lovely treats that he wanted. And he said, and I actually went to go and see him on set one day to go and, I don't know, get something or whatever. And he was in this amazingly, like, outrageous costume. And it was like really, like, it was out there. And I was like, Ben, you look great. And he was like, I look ridiculous.
in his
And
amazing
he just
voice.
chilled out. Okay, right.
He has got an
But
amazing
then
voice.
there's like who was the director? Mary Harron was the director, and she did American Psycho.
Wow.
God,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and John Walsh, her husband. Lovely people.
he wrote it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
stuck in a lift with him once for a while. I don't know why it took so long to get up there, but he's honestly he's the writer. John Walsh is just a lovely guy. Can speak to him for ages.
Nice.
Yeah. And American Psycho is getting remade as well, isn't it? Very soon.
Yeah, with
Really?
Arnold Schwarzenegger's son.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Maybe, not
I'll watch it
definitely.
now.
Oh, potentially Patrick Schwarzenegger. No, Patrick Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, and there's also Jacob Elordi's in the running as well, so it's not
Oh, okay.
definitive yet.
Tough movie to remake that.
Sorry to interrupt the show. Just a reminder to say we love and appreciate you all for listening to the podcast, whether it's on Spotify, Apple, or Amazon. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, follow, as this really helps us continue to progress and improve the content and keeps us making these fun episodes for you guys. Oh, we're also on these things called Instagram and TikTok. You can follow us there too, as we share short, funny reels on the reg that you can share with friends if you like. Now, back to the mayhem.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of remakes, to be honest. Like,
Yeah.
just make a new movie,
Well,
please.
especially when they're so good as well, because like there was rumors they were going to remake On the Waterfront with Jake Gyllenhaal, and I'm like, whoa, it's Marlon Brando, man. What are you doing? Like,
Leave it alone.
don't, if it's not broken, don't fix it, man. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
Of course, saying that, Tash, didn't you just see How to Train Your Dragon, the remake?
I did. I actually did really like that.
Well,
You got
that's
me.
not really a remake. It's just a live action, and it's different.
To be
mean, it's
fair,
still a
out of
remake.
everything, like every live action movie I've seen, that is the one that I wanted to see on the big screen. Visually, it's stunning.
Yeah, but have you seen the cartoon?
Yeah,
Oh, you have?
it's
All
the
right,
music
okay.
for me. The
Well, they said
score is
it's
great.
They said it's kind of almost like shot for shot based on the animation, right?
Yeah.
More or less.
And no, Lilo and Stitch was shot to shot, but
Right.
and that was infuriating for me because I felt like it wasn't really bringing anything new, and then halfway through it just goes off to do something random.
Right.
But with How to Train Your Dragon, it just felt emotionally like it brought a lot more. I think it's just down to like the set design for one is just incredible, and then all the different dragons and but it's just like the warmth and the energy that you get from this movie is just completely different to another live action movie. It's great.
The kid was really
recommend.
well cast as well, wasn't he? The boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the only thing I've said this in my review, that the only thing I've got about that is his hair is very 2020s One Direction. And I'm not for it.
At least he didn't have a top knot.
Yeah,
Direction on the dragon.
it's very Harry Styles sweat, like, and no,
Wasn't that a
it
bit
wasn't
like the
no for
Lego?
me. And he
The
didn't have
Lego
the
It's like that in
accent.
the cartoon, though, isn't it? It's a bit like
Yeah, but not now. A Viking don't look like that.
It's true. You're a big fan of dragons, though, aren't you, Tash?
Oh, I do like a good dragon. Yeah, dinosaurs, dragons,
Yeah, because
anything mystical,
I
fantasy.
saw you had like a lineup of all the different dragons, and I was a big fan of Draco when Sean Connery voiced Draco. Like, I cried, man. I was broken in the cinema where he's like,
Sean
pulls his
Connery,
heart
isn't he?
open.
What a guy!
Yeah, man, Sean Connery can do no wrong, especially as a dragon. Legend.
It's the
What's
accent.
your
You just listen.
favourite?
He commands presence.
What's your favorite dragon then? While we're on dragons,
Don't do that to me.
I think we know Drew.
I do love Sisu from Raya, The Last Dragon, and probably everyone hasn't seen it. There's so many
Oh, yeah.
people who haven't seen it. The Disney movie,
Yeah, that's from a while back, that isn't it?
I know, or Falclaw from The Neverending Story.
Were you a fan of Game of Thrones? Any of their dragons do it for you?
Yeah,
They were amazing, weren't they?
What
I
about
want
Puff?
to be her. I want 3 dragons.
You could be Khaleesi, the mother
Oh,
of
yeah.
dragons.
Just dye my hair a bit more blonde.
Yeah.
What about
Just-
Puff the Magic Dragon? There's a dragon for you.
No,
That
No.
was old school, yeah. Puff the Magic Dragon was awesome.
Yeah. So what happened after you did this first film then? So what was the next evolution in your career, or
yeah.
what?
So after I did my first film, I then went on to do children's TV. I did a stint on, I could say this, Justin's House, which was hilarious. It's so there's movies, which is like it was about 5-6 weeks of condensed work, 11-hour days. And then you go from doing that at like 100 miles per hour to go into children's TV. And it's just a completely different world. And it blew me for six, and I didn't know what to do. It's like everyone's so happy. It's like everyone's on drugs in children's TV.
They
When,
might be.
when I was working on the movie, everyone was very angry. And then I go into this completely different environment. It's just like, oh.
Wow.
Yeah, I think with like movies, like I said, I've been on a few sets myself, and Drew has as well. But it's like the stress of a
It's a
budget
pressure cooker.
and a time frame and the light and how
Yeah.
long you've got that actor for. Everything needs to be done so quickly, so you run over, and no one does a 10-hour day. They go for like 14 hours and stuff like that.
Yeah, I was
Children's
doing
TV is
14-hour
probably,
days.
yeah, it's insane, isn't it? It's like,
Because you're in production as well. If you worked as a spark or a gaffer, someone with a union, you would never go over whatever it said on the call sheet, because once you go over the call sheet time, you start getting paid, you start doing overtime,
Yeah.
and the production skyrockets, and no one wants to do that. If we went a minute over, the producer would start sweating. Whereas if I went over, they wouldn't care because they wouldn't pay me overtime. I've only ever had overtime in production on one show, and that was for like one day. And
That's a
that
bit
was
harsh.
because of an incident that happened that I can't talk about because I signed
That's
an
fine.
NDA.
But that's harsh though, man. That it's like
Yeah.
you're doing the same time as everyone else, but you're getting paid in hugs and everyone else is getting actual wages.
Production proper get the rough end of the stick. We work so hard. There were days when I was doing 14, 15-hour days, some days on several shows, and working at the weekends. And I would wake up in the morning and I would check my phone, and I've already got my producer or some people messaging me, asking me where to go or what to do and stuff like that, even though it's all on the call sheet. And then when I'd get home, my phone would still be pinging till about 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night. There were some days like when for some reason the schedule would get redone, and I would have to book everyone's travel for them to arrive on the Monday or the Tuesday, and I wouldn't get the schedule till Friday, and I would have to book 14 people's travel arrangements to come on the Monday. That was probably the worst day of my life, I think, because they didn't send it to me till midday as well, and I was stressed because I almost quit that day as well. I almost quit because I had to stay till 10:30 at night that day, and I stopped being paid from 5, I think, that day. So I had to do basically 5.5 hours extra work on top of my working day for free, and everyone else had gone home, and it was all because of someone else's. And you know what it says? It all rolls downhill.
Food
So some other people need to make decisions, and they can't make decisions till other people make decisions. And unfortunately, I can't do my work until all those decisions get made, and that's production life.
snowball effect, isn't it? Like, yeah, it affects the people.
Yeah.
it's tough. It's so much less that, and you don't even get into the business unless you like they should tell you that before you get into it, because that's pretty standard, isn't it? Like what you experienced, everyone does. It's insane amount of effort people put into these sort of things.
There should be a small print, man, for sure.
It proper affects your mental health and your actual physical health as well. I actually I've done a few jobs. I was basically doing crime dramas. There are some like amazing, obviously, productions that I've worked with, but there were some really bad ones too. And unfortunately, there was a show that I was working on where I was literally working all day, every day, and working at the weekends as well. And I didn't have any days off basically for months because I was working every day. And I started getting sick towards the end of the production when we were on wrap, and I was like, something really weird's happening. Like even at the wrap party, I was like, I don't feel very well. But when you get to that, when you're in production, I don't think anyone realizes this. you're not allowed to be sick. If you are sick, you go into work. Unless you're in hospital, you come into work. So you are literally running yourself ragged until you drop. Like that's the sort of like mentality. You don't go home sick. No one goes home sick. You always come into work. There is no being sick. And I was feeling really ill. And thankfully, we'd wrapped by this point, so the production was in the bag. And we were just doing paperwork and shutting down and closing down the office and stuff. And I was like, oh, I feel really bad. And then I was on. It was a Saturday, thankfully, and I wasn't in work, and I was actually going to see some friends, and I was still getting messages. And I was, and I suddenly felt really ill. I was like, something weird's happening here. I was like, I think I need to go, guys. So I left, and I started feeling a really bad pain in my chest. So I went to hospital, and they rushed me in because they thought I was having a heart attack. And I was like, what? And I was in tears. I was in absolute tears, and I just couldn't figure out what was going on. Thankfully, I had like an EKG and everything, but it turned out there was something else wrong, and I got it, and I couldn't speak and stuff, and I lost my voice, and I was like, I told my producers and stuff. It was the last week of the production. I was like, I really can't speak. I've had all these tests done and stuff. Can't speak. Thankfully, they were really nice because my production manager and my production coordinator at the time were just really nice. Like all the toxic people had wrapped and gone home. Thankfully, didn't have to deal with them anymore. And then I was like, and then we'd wrapped. Day done. Thank you very much. See you on the next one. Hopefully, when we get one. Fine. The day after I wrapped, I was admitted to hospital, and I was there for over a week, and I had to have an operation. Basically, one of my organs had decided to give up because of all the amount of stress that I had, and I had to have an operation, and I was signed off for 3 months. But when you're in the industry, there's no such thing as being signed off because you're freelance. So I was out of work for 3 months, and yeah, it was all down to stress.
I was about to say like that. That's all those hours you work for free, and like the pressures of your phone constantly going off. Have you seen this TV series called The Franchise?
No.
Yeah.
Move it in a bit.
Is that going to be triggering?
Yeah, here's the tagline: lights, camera, anxiety.
That is me.
Yeah, it's got
What's it on? Apple.
It's on
It's on Now TV.
It's no original.
Yeah, it's Now
Sky.
TV.
Sky, yeah.
It's got H. Patel is the lead, Daniel from Tenet, and the famous Yesterday, where he redoes all of the Beatles. Tracks.
Yeah. Himesh Patel is amazing. It's a good series, but it didn't get picked up for a second one, unfortunately, which is really annoying. Because
I watched The Studio.
Oh, yes.
I watched The Studio with one of my friends, and it was like PTSD.
I was going to say, it's going to give you nightmares, that program.
I was like, they know. How do they know? It's like scene for scene. But what happened? How did they know?
It's so realistic, isn't it?
Well, I think the one takes they create that chaos and that anxiety because it feels like you're saying about time is so urgent that when you're seeing behind the scenes that everything is happening literally in real time, it creates that you forget to breathe when you're watching that show, man. And
it proves no one knows what they're doing. They're just making decisions on the hop
it's a reactive
thing, and then everyone else has got the consequences of that decision. Down the bottom, and someone said, "We need this." Oh fuck! I need to source this. Right, I need someone to travel over here now. Oh god, fucks everyone.
But they all try to throw each other. Yeah,
in that.
They try to throw each other under the bus because one of them's like, "You need to tell him that." No. You need to tell him that. No.
It happens a lot.
We'll get her to tell him that. It's like,
and then no one tells him it.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that was a great The Franchise is basically like just as anxiety, but a bit more sillier. Like it's a silly film they're making, like a low budget, crappy film, and all the actors are morons and stuff like that. And but it is good, isn't it?
It also feels like it's kind of being a satirical thing at like how they make just terrible choices when it comes to movies and concepts. Because there's an episode where you've got like Scorsese's going to do something monumental with this script. You're like, this is going to be great. This is going to be like real pure cinema art. And they're like, no, we're going to make it more of like an animation. And then we're going to get this person to kind of rap over it. And then it's going to be like a slush puppy going on a journey through town. You're like, what? You're like, yeah, let's get behind that. You're like, this is nuts.
But that's the realism of it. It's like that
Yeah.
that great film only got greenlit because it had a nuanced similarity with a production they had to make, and
Yeah.
now it doesn't. They don't make it. It's awful how it works.
People don't realize is when you're doing a TV show or a movie, like every day is like putting on a major event the next day. So you do one major event, and then the next day you got to do all over again. And if you don't get it, if you don't get those shots, the amount of money that it costs to try and redo that on another day is absolutely ridiculous. Especially if it's a stunt day. Ugh.
I feel like the
And
mental
stunt days are
health.
great to watch. God, you need them to go right.
Yeah. I feel like the mental health must be through the roof on sets, on film sets. Just not just for like the actors, artists, but the crew members, all the people behind the scenes, the runners, like producers, like everything. Like everyone must be on Prozac or I
Well,
don't
we
know.
do have a medic on site every day, so.
Yeah.
And they're treated like a GP, unfortunately. Because they don't have time to go to their actual GP, that they treat the medic like the GP, but the medic is literally there to make sure, like, if someone hurts themselves on set, then they have that resource there. But most of the time, they're literally just giving out paracetamol.
Wow. Painkillers. Get me through the day.
My
Jesus.
friend Trish, she's a producer on movies, and I was with her in a film in Glasgow, and she's got a million of these stories. But we had the next day we were shooting on a bus that was going through Glasgow, and the Clydebank Council cancelled the permit, so we couldn't have this bus on the road and film, which means the whole. So they worked till about. I think we were meant to finish like 4 that day because it was a night shoot the night before, and it ended up being 10 o'clock that following night. And she basically worked most through the night to try and find another alternative, and found another little village outside Glasgow that they could pretend it was built up by putting loads of cars around it. But it was like in the middle of nowhere, but they're trying to make it look like Glasgow city central, which was really tricky to do. And she had to pass all these things to get this bus to there. And it's just like a nightmare. Absolute, like, yeah, all this sort of stuff is so high anxiety, I think. What was the positives? What was your favorite things about working in this TV industry?
Well, I've made some really good friends, like on crew and cast. Like cast are just, that's why you do it, isn't it? The cast are just lovely. Like I've only had one bad actor that I will never work with or be in the vicinity of ever again. Well, actually two. Everyone else has just been a pleasure to work with, and you just like you meet so many cool people as well. Like that's why you do it, isn't it? And like for me, it was like to see my name on the credits at the end. Like that was the dream, and to see that, I take a photo every single time. I was like,
Nice.
but no, yeah, the magic. Like you forget about the magic, especially when you're like 3 months in on 14-hour days, and you forget. And that's why I really like having runners, like really fresh runners, like runners that don't know what's about to happen to them. Mostly so they can get the experience and they can see what everything's like. And like, I know they're going to mess up. Like, I know it's fine. Like, you learn. That's how you learn, by getting your first job. But they just bring that spark back, that energy of just really wanting to be there. And they've got all that energy that I used to have. And
And
I
you're
miss.
there ready to crush them.
Yeah, and there's some
Eventually.
actor or some producers ready to crush their spirits. I'm like, no, you leave my little runner alone.
Mine.
Would you agree? I would say the angriest person on set's the first AD. They've got the most stress. Like, they're not the director, but they've got to make the directors happen and get everyone lined up and in the right place.
See, some of my favorite people have been the first AD and the second AD because
I like
we
them, but
get
they're
on
angry.
so well. Yeah, because we're very
Organized.
because I'm a production secretary and an assistant. It's called an APOC, assistant production coordinator. We do the same sort of jobs, so we're very logistical. So they do the call sheet, and so the second AD will do the call sheet every day, and the first AD will do the schedule, and I'll do all the travel arrangements. So we're very logical. So we get on very well because we do similar jobs. So I understand their stress because I'm like, they're around people, like the first AD is around everyone every day. They've got nowhere to run away from that stress, whereas me and the second AD will either be in the in the production van most of the time, or in the production office, just like swaying back and forth and like giving ourselves counselling. But he's got nowhere to go.
Well, what was the thing that
So
kind of surprised you the most about being on set? Because talking about that made me realize that when I first went on film sets, I assumed the director was the boss. And they're only the
yeah,
boss at the point when everything's set up and it's ready to shoot. Then he's
yeah,
the boss. They're the boss. But it's usually the first AD that is the one that's like, stop having fun. I need you to finish your food and move over to this section,
yeah.
please.
Well, the
And,
first
like,
AD is
first
the
AD,
messenger.
yeah, they
Don't kill
do
the messenger.
everything. Everyone goes to him.
Yeah.
Well, in my circumstance, it was a bloke the few times, and he ran everything like an orchestra. And then when they're all on set, he just went flopped down and went, "You take over now."
Yeah,
What
the,
was your
the the
biggest surprise?
director and the DOP will usually be sat together in a nice like area, won't they? And the director is just basically just making decisions like, yes, I want this. They'll get asked questions all the time. Do you want to do this? Do you want to do this? What about you do this? And the first AD is just like they're literally their assistant, like their executive assistant with a nice title, and they take all those ideas like that they want to do and they make it happen. So without the first DD, nothing will ever get done because directors try
Yeah.
to maintain their creative aura most of the time and what they want things to look like and stuff. Like I've seen some very hands-on directors. I think the best thing like I've ever like have you guys seen The Fall Guy?
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
Yeah.
So accurate.
That's awesome.
And
Good
I
old
love the
Emily
first
Blunt.
AD in that movie because he's like, yes, yes, yes. I'm like, yeah, that guy. I
Well,
know that guy.
to go to Drew's point, that program, the franchise with Himesh Patel,
Mm.
it's about Himesh Patel, and he is the first AD. He is like getting bullied by the director, but he's then not bullying, but he's trying to control everyone else, and
Yeah,
it's getting tough. And he just wants to be a director, but he's got to go
yeah.
jump through these hoops, and it's the stress of
But
that.
that's the hoop jumping thing is like that's probably the most stressful thing about this industry because you start off as a runner and you're like, oh, I just want to be a production secretary, and then you get to be a production secretary and you're like, oh, I just want to be an APOC, and there's like, oh, I just need to do all these things and then I can be a production coordinator, and then you're like, oh, my life is hell, I need to like stop doing like this, all this work is like making me insane, the only thing I can do is like become production manager and then I'll be all right. And then you become a production manager, you're like, everyone is screaming at me and everyone wants me to make these decisions. The only thing I can do is become a line producer. Right, I'm going to be a line producer. Right, I'm a line producer now. Oh my God, all these reports. And I've got to make sure all this budget makes up and stuff. And it never stops, guys.
It's like a pyramid
You're just
scheme.
always aiming. You're thinking, oh, the next level up will be so much easier. No, it never is.
Well, there's no one at the top. Like, even like in the studio, when Seth Rogen finally gets to the top, he's still got a boss, and his boss has still got a
I've
studio.
seen producers crying in
Yeah.
a corner. It never stops.
Yeah, these powerful people, they're not that powerful when they get to the
Yeah.
top either.
The only thing like I can think of as another industry that is just as insane as ours is food in a kitchen with Gordon Ramsay. That's
wow.
what being a production is like. being on a
You
line.
watch programs and think, why would anyone want to be a chef? It makes no sense,
Yeah.
does it?
Exactly.
Like, do you want to die young? Yeah, okay, we'll put on a chef's hat.
Exactly. If there
Not worth
was
it.
Hell's Kitchen for TV, no one would ever do it.
On a side note, Jordan's Kitchen, Hell's Kitchen, or whatever it's called,
Kitchen Nightmares.
Kitchen Nightmares, is a new series.
One of my favourite ever shows. I was watching it earlier.
It's
It's on
fun to
Channel
watch,
4
but
now.
I would never do it.
It's so intense already. Like, you've got some of the sharpest weapons around that you're using to chop up food, but like tensions are high, and you got to hope that a chef doesn't use that to threaten another sous chef or something. But then also, it's so fucking hot in the kitchen that everyone is dripping, and like
Same
you've got
like
the pressures
production.
of people. You've seen The Bear, right? The Bear TV series is
The
a
Bear's the same.
masterpiece.
The Bear is very
Exceptional.
much like
On-
if you took that kitchen and put it on set, that is what TV is like.
On balancing the levels of just like, you've got the guests outside that are kicking off because maybe their food isn't quite right. Then they're coming back in, and then, or their tables being booked, or they're double booked, and then someone comes in and they're like, this food isn't right, or they try the sauce, they're like, oh, what, you've added way too much salt. And it's like all these different things. And as soon as one person lets the ball drop, you're fucked. Like a whole complete dish could be bollocks.
Exactly.
Basically,
I tell you what, any runner will probably tell you that they were a kitchen staff or worked in the best. I think the best runners come from working in a kitchen. If you worked in a kitchen or a restaurant or a bar, you'll be able to handle working in telly.
That's good. I could be a runner.
You know what it's like already. And I've worked in a kitchen. I've worked as a waitress, and I've had chefs scream at me 1 minute and then go, "Oh, you did really well today, thanks." And that's what the TV industry is like. Everyone's two-faced.
Wow. Bipolar.
And I've had chefs going, "Like, if I don't laugh, I'm going to cry."
Crazy.
I mean,
It's
this episode's not going out for a couple of weeks, but have you all seen the trailer for the new Bruce Springsteen film?
What?
Talking about Jeremy Allen White. It just came out today.
Oh.
Oh my
No,
God.
but I will now.
Is he wearing double denim?
Yes.
Stephen Graham as well was playing the father.
Stephen Graham's in it, yeah. It looks
Such
stunning.
a good actor.
His voice, I was just like, you pick these random actors to do these things just because they look slightly like the guy, and you're like, you're not going to be able to sing like him. Wow, yeah, nails it. It's the
He's going to
passion.
go hell for that.
He's not just singing. He's not got a good voice. It's the way he sings it is like
Yeah.
That's Bruce
I wouldn't be
Springsteen.
surprised if Jeremy won an Oscar somewhere down the line because, like, he's just stellar. Like the Iron Claw.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was in tears.
Yeah.
That's the first time I've cried in the cinema watching that film.
We were talking about the last line, what he says to that little boy. He says,
You
He
can
says,
be our brother, Dad.
Yeah. That was it. I was to his own son, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. But it was his kids telling him, but it wasn't even the line, it was the build up to it. And then the line was like the release, like, I'm
I have to switch off when I see that boat. I can't do it.
Yeah. That is just.
But I saw Jeremy White first in Shameless. I watched that over the pandemic when I was bored and didn't have anything to do, and he's great in Shameless.
Was that the American version? Is he playing McAvoy's character?
The American version is so much. It's so much different. It's brilliant.
So good.
He's He's like a genius, isn't he? Really, really clever.
Yeah, they did the same with Skins though, so I can't be doing with it.
Yeah, America keeps remaking stuff pretty much.
Yeah, I don't know. The American Office is the greatest show of all time. But we were talking about the Bruce Springsteen film at work earlier, and someone went just opened like, is he American? Like, honest question. And I was like, can you name Bruce Springsteen's song? She was like, yeah, Born in the USA. I was like,
Born in Chelsea. You're like,
I was like, now ask that question again.
Tash, I see a Marvel Studios poster.
Yeah,
there.
I wanted to ask about that. Let me see. Have you got some Funkos as well?
What's going on with that? What's going on?
What was that?
Your little Marvel collection with your Funkos. I see that out the box.
Not all
Some would
Marvel.
say that's controversial.
To be quite, yeah, I know. my desk was a bit of a mess. I was like, if I'm going on a podcast, I need to like spruce this desk up a bit because it's quite bare back here and it's
It
just
does look.
full of my work.
Unfortunately, I can only see like this angle because it's like sort of sliced in three, so I can't actually see any further than the half the V and the E and the L and the half the moss at the bottom.
Because he's
Yeah,
on
no,
his
it's a
mobile.
present. But I have like I don't know if you guys have seen my Instagram carousel, like in my TikTok videos, like I have a pretty mighty DVD collection, so they all live on there usually.
Nice. Are you a big fan of
They
Marvel
just come
yourself? I
over
take it
here for the podcast
No,
to
she
have a
hates
walk.
Marvel. That's why someone got her a Marvel poster, Drew.
she's just using it as a dartboard. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Stop it!
You-
I love Marvel, and I
you have a
don't
favourite-
care. It went a bit downhill, but Deadpool saved it. I say,
Yes.
and there's only good things coming.
We're big Deadpool and Wolverine fans.
Yeah, I have some Deadpool to hand.
And
Ironically, that was one of our strongest episodes by accident.
Sorry, so again, the internet connection said you're buffering.
if you click out and then click the link and pop back in again, it might reset it. We apologise for the sound issues. All fixed. Back to the show.
We can hear you.
me.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
Can
can't
you hear us?
you.
Oh,
Oh, she's
That'll
not
be
missing out
awkward.
much.
What the hell?
it's hard to ask questions when people
This
can't
is
hear us.
what I think I was on this one last. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you hear the three of us?
You're all good?
Oh, do you know what? You
Great.
actually sound better than
This
you
is-
did before. No, it's in, there was a little tiny weird thing with your mic in the first build up, but now it's like spot on.
And your visuals are better as well. I can actually see the Funko things.
I literally haven't done anything other than refresh it.
Maybe it was just the internet being funny because
Sometimes.
we've
Yeah.
had internet issues before when we've been in certain other countries and it's gone a bit weird.
Or certain hotels in
Yeah,
Brighton that we don't mention.
No, we've had people from all over the world on: France, Switzerland, America.
Nice. I'm just local.
So just gonna say, yeah. So
Who's
Local
around
to
the world?
Kev, not us.
well, let's pretend that didn't happen. So what? You're a Manchester. You're Manchester.
Yes.
I don't know if I said I'm in Chester, so I'm not far from you at all.
No, she's got 3 letters in front of her, so she wins.
They rhyme.
What do you mean? What?
No.
Yeah. I'm in Chester.
Where
Yeah,
are
that's
you
what I'm saying. I'm
from?
close. Oh, they're down south.
I'm in
Oh
Hove.
no, can't be having that, Kev.
He's in
We're at the
Brighton.
beach. I'm 3 minutes from the beach.
Yeah, you couldn't be any further south if you tried.
I'm from Southport, from the seaside. Proper
Ah.
beach.
Perfect.
Proper beach.
I mean, I have a proper beach down the road. Pebbles and
Southport Pleasureland.
Next one always got it. So copy on us now, Kev.
And I'm even more northern than you. I'm Scottish. Not that you can tell.
Well,
I'm just mid.
Irish
I'm just
Scout,
an hour out of
so I
London,
was
so
very scared I was going to slip up and swear.
He's a very well-spoken Scotsman.
and I'm just near the city, so
What are you trying to say, Drew? Scottish people can't speak.
Whoa. Come on,
yes,
man. Come on.
yes, exactly what you're trying to say.
Sometimes.
You are Scottish,
Sometimes.
Kev.
Yeah, my
It
partner
comes out
doesn't.
occasionally,
my
normally
partner-
in violence.
No,
Well, I was gonna
normally-
say, I'm Scouse, so it only comes out when I'm drunk or angry. So
Yeah,
Oh, so we'll get on because
Yeah.
me and you are from areas where we just naturally are angry people.
Do
Yeah.
you go to mosh pits?
I get angry when I'm drunk as well.
Do you go to mosh pits, Tash, at all?
I thought you said mosque pits.
Yeah, it's a
That
new
new
kind of thing. It's a new thing.
no, not since my Avril Lavigne days.
Oh, was
Quality.
that recording when I said that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ah.
this whole time.
Mosque pits.
The blue-
That's the next thing. Harry
Not a Harry Krishna pit. That's a completely different religion.
Yeah.
Christian pit would be great, wouldn't it?
Right, you stop talking now.
It's fine.
Yes. All right, we'll move on. So, Tash, well, after you did these things, I understand that you left that industry to go to a new industry. And what made you make
Did.
that decision?
Well-
I can guess the decision, but what was the motivation and what?
Well, the
biggest
hospitalisation
change?
was one, but
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fun.
Less hospital visits, I guess. Yeah.
I know, I wanted less time in the hospital. So after I left, after I got hospitalized, I actually went back for like 3 months to do another show. Well, yeah, to do another show. And it was such a lovely crew. Like that was probably the best crew and cast. Like I had so much fun on that one. But then because of all the strikes and the COVID and all sorts of things, the industry is actually in quite a lot of trouble. You guys probably know this. So at the time, 75% of the workforce was out of work. So basically, when I was on said show that ended me in hospital, no one wanted to leave because there were no jobs to go on to. So the past year, 18 months, I would say, has been dry. It's been so hard to find a job, especially up north. Like we've proper struggled up north. Usually there's about maybe a dozen to 20 shows going on all at the same time in Manchester and in Liverpool. And in Manchester at the time, there were 2. I think right now there's 2 going on right now. And usually there's like a dozen. So
More than 2.
the fear of of leaving your horrible job was just like you just had to carry on. So luckily I was on that job, but then I had no job after said nice job. I went on to do a commercial for like 5 weeks, which was different. And then I went to do another movie which hasn't come out yet, which I can't talk about. But that was
What's the genre? Can you just say the genre?
weird. Hey.
Jurassic World, new Jurassic World.
No,
just say the
it
genre?
definitely is like an indie production with like no money, so everything's like really tightly
love
for me
those.
to get accommodation
stuff.
for actors for like £30 a night for crew, and I was like, I can't even get you a tent for £30 a night.
I'll get you 10 for 30 quid.
What?
I know a guy.
So yeah, I was unemployed for 8 months last year in total. So I was saving up to get a house, and I had to use all my mortgage deposit to basically keep myself alive and to keep my flat. So I had to go on the dole, and then I was about a couple of weeks away from having 0 money left in my savings account, and I had to beg a family member for money, which I just didn't want to do. And then I found, because I was applying for other jobs as well, for like in travel and everything, just to try and find a job and get me employed and pay
Yeah.
my rent and stuff, because I just
Must be
Like
terrible.
Tory or
need to do
something.
stuff. But yeah, no, I ended up going into working in travel for a bit, and then I landed a job in the gaming industry. So I now work in games, which is actually really fun.
Be more specific.
Can
You work for a developer.
Loves it.
He's a gamer.
He's very excited.
I work for a company where they have found out that I was going on a podcast and have told me multiple times today. Remember, you cannot say a thing, and it's one of those
You can
companies
surely
where
say
you
who
have
your
to go,
employer is,
all my
because that's
accounts
like.
are my own and none of the companies.
But you could surely say who your employer is, because that must be on like your LinkedIn and that.
It is, if you really want to try and find it. But my name's
Yeah,
Tash on Telly. There's no surname there.
Don't start stalking her. She knows another stalker.
Is it a developer though? Get someone that makes games. That doesn't give anything away. That could be anyone.
Exactly.
This is like Gareth's quiz.
Just,
That's fine. That's fine.
just tormenting
yeah,
him
so
for my
the-
fun and amusement now.
We don't need to know the developer.
Yeah, but what-
What's your sort of job entail?
Yeah.
So I look after the studio of one of the studios of said company that makes these games.
These games. So it's not Mojang. They make Minecraft. Oh.
And then I look after. So I do their communications, internal and external, and I work in. I basically just get everything done. I'm the studio administrator, so I kind of look after the leadership team. I make all the bookings. I basically do everything that I did as a production secretary, but now in games. So
So it's
I'm basically
good
doing
transition
exactly the
then,
same
isn't it?
job. It was a great transitional
Yeah.
job, all the same transferable skills.
Is it a slower pace in the sense that, like you said before, like if a stunt goes wrong and blah, 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 because it's almost like CGI and voiceover actors, I imagine, that are coming in to create such things. How, yeah.
I might be wrong in saying this because I know you don't want to answer this question, the question that Drew just asked, but the game industry is now bigger than the movie industry, isn't it? Like monetary wise, as in, I think that they're predicting that day one of GTA 6 they're going to make $1 billion revenue in one day.
Probably because it's been like teased forever.
It's
Yeah.
been like 10
Well,
years in the May. It's coming out next May. I can't wait.
Yeah, the industries are very similar. So they're both creative industries, and you make something and it costs said money, and then you put it out there and you just hope that it makes a profit. And that's exactly what the TV industry is like, and that's exactly what the movie industry is like. They make a gamble, basically. They're like, they've got this film, here's how much we think it's going to cost, we think it's going to make X amount. And then you just kind of hope for the best once it goes out there. Sometimes with a studio, like, you know, what Borderlands did, like, how much money did that cost? And it,
By the way, the new Borderlands 4, the £150 special edition doesn't actually include the game. It's like, okay. So, just a quick one, because we'll get off who you work for, because obviously we don't want to go into that. But are you a gamer off the back of it? Were you a gamer before?
oh yeah. I have
Because
I've got my PC games, but I also have 2 Switches over there. I've got my PS5. What else have I got? Old school games too. I've had GameCube, everything. Yeah.
yeah, we got our Switch 2 the other day. We've got my, you
Oh,
can kind of see it
don't.
there, my Spider-Man PS5
It
up there.
just costs so much money. And I've already got 2.
Yeah,
Just thought of replacing 2 Switches just makes my just to play
just in
Mario Kart
preparation
again.
for this,
No.
we've got the Switch Lite, which is my son's, the
No.
usual Switch.
The usual
We've got,
Switch.
we've got,
James is switching it up.
we've got issues.
This
Well,
boy's
We've
got
got,
I'll tell you
gadgets.
what,
we've
James,
got the
this will make
Portal.
you really jealous. So in my job, I get free games for the rest of my life.
Do you get to test them
So,
before they're released? Do
yeah.
you get to test games before they're released?
Yeah, I've literally last week, I was playing a game to help test it before it's actually come out.
Wasn't
'Cause-
Mind's Eye, was it?
Because I'm so excited about the new Resident Evil. I think, is it Nemesis or Redux? Not
The
Redux.
Nemesis was the movie. It was the
Not
game
Nemesis.
back in like 2000,
Not
the
Nemesis.
90s.
It's anyway. It's Resident Evil 9, and I've seen some gameplay footage, and it looks absolutely insane.
Oh,
Like the details.
can't be doing scary games, mate.
Was
No.
that part of your employment when you got employed for this? Was it like, yeah, we know you can do said job of the logistics, but are you into games? If you're not, might not be for you. Did
Oh
they
yeah, you
ask you
have
that
to be into
question?
games.
Right.
Like, our office is incredible. Like, it hits about 4 o'clock and everyone just starts playing games. We have a puzzle station, we have a pool table, we just got a ping pong table, we have a racing car setup thing. We've got obviously PS, Xbox, and they're all available to play. We've just got a new interactive darts board. We've got a pool table. Yeah, no, we've
How do
got.
you get any work
You just
done?
play.
I just be so
You're encouraged to
distracted.
play.
That is so cool.
If
Well,
I did
that's great 'cause-
that in the television industry, I would have been sacked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a strange thing because technically you don't need to be a fan to do your job because your job is the organizational side of things. But if they're employing people who actually enjoy the industry they're in, they're going to get so much more from it because in every industry, there's got to be someone in finance, there's got to be someone in whatever. But you never ask if that person finance is into property in the industry
Yeah.
they're in. They're probably not. They're just into finance. Whereas you actually enjoy the industry you're in.
Americans are much like in TV. They're into films and TV as much as anyone else. Like they've got all the memorabilia and stuff like that. I've worked with people on. Oh, they worked on the accounts team. They worked on Crystal, the Dark Crystal, Age of Renaissance, and I absolutely loved that TV show. loved it, and honestly, it kills my soul that they ended it, that they didn't do a second series, because I absolutely loved it. And they have all merch and stuff, and they got to see things, and they're just as nerds as the rest of us. I just like being around nerds.
Were you
I think I might know where you work.
were you a
I'm not
fan
going
of
to say it,
Arcane?
obviously.
Were you a fan of Arcane?
I think I know where you were. I'm not going to say it, and I can understand also why. But I won't go too much into it. But you mentioned like movies, games can flop and bust. But there's two you'll probably be aware of, and we won't speak too long. So Kevin, that probably won't know. Is there's two big flops in the last 10 years of gaming, and one happened last week. The first one was Cyberpunk a couple of years ago.
Oh, is that the one with
It-
Keanu Reeves?
Yeah, it was a game that looked, and today, 5 years later, is great to play. But when it came out, it was unplayable. It was
Yeah, it was
awful.
glitchy. I heard that. In the
It was it was like comical. Like all the reviews were just like it going wrong. The same thing happened with a game called Mind's Eye, where it had some sort of like Timu Kit Harrington, like sort of main character, and it just doesn't work. It's just like hilarious. And I pre-ordered it as well, and luckily cancelled it because it's just a mess. And in like 4 years' time, when they fixed it, yeah, it might be good. It's the equivalent of bringing out a film that you
Yeah.
half edited.
Yeah. Isn't it funny how,
It's so bad.
especially with reviewers like yourselves, like if you don't get to a movie quick, like first off, like first in the door, first couple of days, if you hear that bad review, especially from someone you know, and they go, it's rubbish, do not go and watch that movie. I go, all right.
Yeah, that closes doors, doesn't it? It's
Yeah.
really brutal.
The funny thing is with Cats, can you remember Cats when it came out? It was so bad that they re-edited it while it was on at the cinema and re-released it. It's almost like, did no one watch it? Like with a game, it's like, right, can you just play it? We're releasing this game next week. Can like 20 of you just play it for like 5 hours?
Wait a minute.
It's like, nah, it'll be fine.
Didn't they
And
just
the
didn't
actors
they
who
remove
play,
arsehole?
who were in Cats, take the piss out of Cats.
Yeah,
A
yeah.
lot
They
of them
were.
refuse to be associated with it. They're like, what is going on?
But no joke, didn't they CGI out all the arseholes? Because they all had arseholes, and that was one thing.
Yeah, and then they added stuff as it was at the cinema, currently showing.
That's
They were
unrealistic.
currently
Yeah,
working
no,
on it to release another version.
You need the assholes because that's realistic. It's like a little eye where they just walk past you, you know?
Yeah.
But imagine watching the first version and then going and buy the DVD version. It's like completely different.
Yeah, but
You
Drew,
got James Corden there, just like,
it
man.
ends up being really freaking weird because it's adult humans walking around covered in fur, and you can see
Wasn't
their
it Judi
arseholes.
Dench as well?
Yeah, they're
or
not
something?
bending around like cats. They're standing up humans that are
Oh,
just
what? Like
covered in
they're,
fur.
like they're doing Moonies. They're pulling Moonies.
Do you have any idea what we're talking about?
Yeah, it was a musical called Cats.
Yeah, and it's
They made a
humans walking
movie of it.
around.
No,
They're
I
all-
know. Yeah,
They're
you
all just
made it
humans covered in
sound-
fur. If they were literal
I'm having
cats
to
running around,
explain
yeah,
to Drew what Cats is.
yeah. He's
No,
got
It wasn't like Cats and Dogs, the
have
movie with
heard
their
it.
actual cats. They were just actual
I know, but
humans
no, I just-
CGI'd as cats, like
I just
Thundercats
meant-
or something.
when Kevin just said that they were dressed in fur and they had their asses hanging out, that just feels like, you know, you've got a human being pulling a Moonie wearing a cat suit.
yeah. They're just
Basically,
covered-
what version
they're
one was.
CGI fur, so that it was very graphic in that sense. Because
Wow.
if it was a cat, who gives a crap?
Yeah, okay,
Cats
no,
have
I
arseholes.
get it. So it's
Literally.
almost like Game of Thrones meets Cats.
But it's
I get it.
fluffy human arseholes. That's what it was, basically.
Wow.
Sorry, we
thing
have
is,
deviated.
the margin for error with gaming is, I would argue, way more. Because with a movie, you could watch a bad movie and watch the whole film. But with a bad game, you just can't play it. Like, and you have to then take it back and get a refund, and then they have to give all their money back for all their millions they sold. I think Sony did actually offer refunds to everyone, so they spent hundreds of millions on this game, sold it, and then had to give all the money back. That doesn't happen at the cinema, does it? You don't get a
Never done that in
refund.
the cinema. Been in a movie and gone, that's rubbish, and walked out and tried to get your money back.
I've never tried to get my money back.
I've seen some
But
people
when the
do
actual
it.
studio are
I
offering
used to
money,
work in a
that's even
cinema.
worse.
You used to work in a cinema.
Yeah, I
imagine
started my
Odeon's.
career as a projectionist.
What?
Yeah,
No
but I
way.
had to lace the films up. That's how old I am.
That's
But
awesome.
imagine Marvel bringing out Madam Web.
Yeah.
They do millions
Let's
of
not
people
think
go
about
and
that
see
one
it, and they
again.
go, "Do you know what? Anyone that saw it will give you a refund. We're so sorry."
I wish
Like,
I
that's
had a
what
refund
Sony have
for that
done.
movie.
They've gone.
I
We're
was
going to give everyone their
upset.
money back.
What? Sorry, I didn't hear that. Tash, sorry.
Me?
Yeah.
I said, I wish I had a refund for that movie. I was really upset by it. That
Yeah.
like
But it's
took
unheard
them
of, isn't it?
back like 50 years.
But for a studio to go, we're by the way, sorry everyone, we're going to give all your money back, which is what Sony have just done, or whoever made
Mm.
it. It's you wouldn't ever get Marvel being like, sorry, Madam Web, we realise what we've done. Everyone that saw it, email us. We'll like send you money back.
What I've started doing now is checking who the writers are, because Madam Web, I believe, Madam Web was one of those ones where the writers were absolute nobodies that had never done a job before, ever. And it was like, why are they doing this massive movie? And it's, like I've seen it in the industry. I've seen, and I've worked with people who have become producers or writers because they know someone. That still happens. Unfortunately, it's for the above the line, and that's where the movie suffers. So
And Dakota Johnson said that she signed on for a different film than it became. It got edited down to a completely different narrative.
yeah,
I love her.
And the biggest draw was, Sydney Sweeney and the other ones, because in the trailer that they're the biggest draw, because it's like multiple spider girls everywhere.
yeah,
I was like, that's cool. And they're
yeah,
in it in a flashback or a memory for like 5 minutes. It's like if they
yeah,
were in everything like a proper Spider-Man film,
yeah,
that would have been epic.
Yeah, it's just clickbait, isn't it? So it's almost false advertising.
yeah. I, honest to God, wanted to curl up into a ball and die when I saw them all dancing on that table. I was like, what self-respecting girl would do that now without alcohol?
You know they rehashed. They actually took scenes from previous Spider-Man films and spiced them into the film.
It was
That's a
just,
famous thing. There's a scene where she's doing
Yeah.
a recall, and it
yeah.
shows a camera shooting into a building, going up a building. And it's from one of the Spider-Man movies.
Mm.
So they couldn't. I don't think they did it for like nostalgia. I think they did it because they needed the shot. Because it was
Probably.
no other part of the film was nostalgia.
I was going to ask, so just to go into something slightly different. So for Tash, you mentioned a couple of things that I thought was quite fun and interesting.
Oh
And it was
no, what did I
before you got
say?
into all this industry, because obviously we've connected due to you were on social media doing like movie reviews and just having fun with movie related sort of content, which is really fun. But then through that, I found out that you've sort of kind of worked with Nicholas Hoult in Skins.
Sorry, say that again.
Yes, I did see that.
Yeah, you've been with Nicholas Hoult in Skins.
I was in Skins, yeah.
That's cool, though.
How was that one
I
of your
was a
first things
drunk
you did?
girl.
I
That
saw
was
that. You were a
my,
party extra, weren't you?
yeah, I was an extra. It was a really weird one, actually. I entered a competition on E4. Do you remember E4?
Yes.
Yeah.
And they were asking for artwork
Still a thing,
for
isn't it?
Skins. So I was doing a foundation degree in art and design at the time. So I made these. I took these photos and of drunk nights out or whatever. I took one of my cousin's hen party of her drinking a whole bottle of champagne to herself. She never forgives me for this as well. And I edited that and made it all arty and whatever. And I took I entered like 6 of these photos, and and I won. I won the competition, and they used them in the show.
What?
Oh,
There's these
amazing.
pictures. It wasn't like it was there was an episode between season 1 and 2 for it was like a promo, but it was like a mini episode sort of thing, where it was called the Skin Secret Party. You can probably find it on YouTube. I'm in there somewhere. I still can't look at it.
I used to love Skins.
But basically, they invited us down, so I had to drive all the way down to Bristol. Obviously, I couldn't drink, but my friend got a +1, so she came with me and she drank. And they supplied us all with loads of alcohol. You'd never get away with that now. You would never get away with it now. And all of them were there. All of them, like all of those actors that were in Skin season 1 that have done really well. They were all
Yeah, Jack
there,
O'Connell.
and I met them all.
Wow.
Who'd have thought they'd be where they are now?
I
So it's
know,
like
Like,
Dev
especially
crazy.
Jack, whatever he's called, and Nicholas Holt.
Jack O'Connell,
Well,
Dev Patel.
so
Nicholas Hoult.
I've recently worked with Joe Dempsey again,
Nice.
Okay.
and I actually spoke to him and I was like, and I was like, Joe, so just really funny. Like I was doing his travel arrangements and stuff. I was like, really weird coincidence. I was actually in Skins once, and he was like, no way, there's Joe. He's
He
lovely.
looks so different since he died on his bed.
Game of Thrones.
But I was like, Joe, I was in Skin once, and he was like, do you have a photo? I was like, I actually do have a photo of you, Joe, of us together. I was like, I'll find it and I'll come down to the set one day and I'll show you. And I found it and I put it on my Instagram as well of the photo. I feel really bad because there's this other horrible one that I put of him on my Instagram as well on the carousel. And I was like, hey Joe, I found that photo, and he was like, no way. And I showed him it, and we looked so young. And the costume girls were around us as well, and they were like, oh. And it was like, what, 18 years ago?
I was saying, Skin's probably like pushing 20 years now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really weird. So that we were both like 19 or something, 20 at the time, something like that,
Yeah,
when we
2007,
met on the show, and then
2008.
to meet again, working together years later, was so weird. But the
That's all.
actors in there, like he's done so well. He was in Game of Thrones. Like they've all
Yeah.
done so well on that show. It's unbelievable.
Did you see
Even
him?
the girl that played like Effie, she was in like a weird like crocodile alligator movie or something that was
She was
decent,
loads
but
of
I've
weird
never
stuff.
seen her anything since.
She was in was it like Crash
Crawl.
of the Titans or something?
What was that she had, Drew?
Crawl?
The film's
Crawl.
called Crawl. It's amazing in that. She was also in the new Resident
Is
Evil.
that the crocodile one?
Yeah,
Yeah, man,
It's
it's
really
amazing.
good.
Yeah, that's really cool.
And Pirates of the Caribbean,
Yeah, and the Maze
Ah.
Runner. I love the Maze Runner.
Maze Runner. Yeah, she's
Yeah,
been in quite a bit.
yeah. But then obviously like Nicholas Holt's done really well.
Remember we got hit by a bus in Skins? It was like,
Yeah,
what? And then they sang, while, oh, baby, baby. And, and he's like dead, like singing it basically. It's like
honestly,
the strangest scene, wasn't it?
yeah, honestly, one of the episodes that still like breaks my heart today is when Chris dies. Like that's one of
The
the worst
one for
deaths to
me,
me
yeah,
in
when he
history.
just starts, his nose starts bleeding.
Yeah,
And he's
because
like,
everyone thinks
what?
he's taking drugs to take drugs, but he was actually taking drugs because he needed them because he had a health condition.
And he was like a really successful real estate person, wasn't he? Which is what Kev does. He was like selling houses like left, right, and centre, wasn't he? But the one that got me was, when Freddie got murdered by that psycho that was like stalking the
Yeah,
girl in like the second series, and then Cook, Jack, whatever
Jack
his name is,
O'Connell.
confronted him at the end. And
Yeah,
like when Freddie got murdered by him with like a cricket bat, it was like,
that was
wow. And the
hardcore.
scene was all behind glass, and all of a sudden you see like a
Yeah,
blood spurt. And
yeah,
then Jack O'Connell breaks into his house, and there's like a plastic bag with Freddie's trainers in. It says,
yeah,
because he wrote Freddie on his shoes, didn't he? And
yeah.
he's like, what have you done? And then the whole series ends with him going, I'm fucking
Uncle,
Cook. And
yeah.
the guy's going like that with the bat, and he's running at him, and you never find out what happens.
Yeah,
Insane.
I know.
Wow.
Jack O'Connell is just like he
And they
made
did
that
Eden
second
Lake, which
season.
is one of the
He
most
made it.
horrific films ever made. Have you seen Eden Lake?
Brutal.
No.
It's horrific. It's so bad. As in, like, Michael Fassbender, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the lady's very famous. I can't think of her name.
Yeah. She's in True Detective season 2. What the heck is her name now?
She's excellent. But it's Jack O'Connell's in it. It's got a couple of, at the end, their parents are like some classic British actors, but it's about a man, Michael Fassbender and his wife, that go to this like, or his girlfriend, whatever, go to like a lake, Eden Lake, and just to have a little camping trip. And these sort of chavs, which is Jack O'Connell and his mates, start bothering him. And honestly, I won't say any more, but watch it. It's horrific. If you like
That's
horror,
really hard to watch.
Well, he just did
it's
Sinners
tough,
as well,
yeah.
didn't he?
Yeah.
Sinners is great.
Yeah, that is a
Maybe
brilliant.
he's just into like that really hardcore like horror.
Kelly
stuff.
Riley, sorry. Kelly Riley is the girl, is the lady.
Yeah,
She's amazing.
I was going to say, what sort of stuff have you watched recently? What is the sort of like best TV and best movies you've watched recently that you really rate? Obviously, Sinners is definitely up there.
Yeah. Have to go to the good old letterbox here, wouldn't I?
While you're
What?
looking there, did anyone see Kevin Hart's whole thing at the BET Awards, whatever it was called? The recent awards, the Black Entertainment Awards or something, what it was called. But he did a lot of things, and one of the things he said, he was like, "Oh, I've been getting like hit up all day," and he pulls out his phone. He's like, "Oh, it's Kanye. He's outside." He's like, no one invite him in. We all seen Sinners." You know
Yeah,
what
I
happens
saw
when you
that.
invite him
Yeah.
in.
Brilliant.
It's so funny.
I
Only he
wondered
could
where the
get
hell
away
you were
with
going.
that.
That's genius.
Yeah, so
He was so
what is it
funny.
you...
He had a Meghan Markle gag as well, which is quite funny.
So yeah, what have you watched recently then? What is your top
I
picks of
I
recent?
do tend to like watch. I go to the cinema maybe like once or twice a week.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm
same.
pretty nerdy
Nice.
like that. I like to go opening night, especially for Marvel stuff, because otherwise you get all the spoilers. I'm usually an opening night kind of girl, especially to get the review out. I actually really enjoyed The Gorge.
Yeah, that was better
Need to
than it
see
should have
that.
been.
Need to see that.
Was that the one on Netflix?
The one on
No,
Apple.
on Apple
Apple.
TV.
Apple TV, sorry,
Apple
yeah.
TV is proper turning stuff out at the moment. Like it was
Yeah,
a
they're
good
turning it up,
investment.
aren't they?
Yeah,
I put it
real
off
good
for years,
investment.
but now they're really pushing it out.
Yeah. I love The Gorge. The Gorge was great. I really
Yeah, 'cause they
liked
got...
Better Man. Better Man's still number 1 at the moment for this year.
Really?
I
Better
know.
Man.
I don't know.
It's...
Was
I
that
was
the Robbie
really-
Williams thing?
The Robbie
That's the
Williams
monkey.
one. That was
You know
shocked
it is.
me. I wasn't expecting it. I thought I was in the cinema and I saw that trailer and I was like, "What the hell is this?"
I thought it was better than people making it out to be, and I'm not a fan of his. But and it's like we said before, it's basically like he's even said on TV is like first half is happy cheeky chappy, second half is train spotting, and it
Yeah.
is
Wow.
pretty...
The issue wasn't the film was bad. The issue was 9 people
It's
saw it.
like Train Spotting was The Greatest Showman.
Yeah, it's a
Train
weird...
Spotting was a musical.
Wow.
It was just the fact that no one watched it. That was the problem. That's why
No,
the
you've
reviews are
not seen
bad.
it yet.
No, I haven't seen it. I
You'll-
was
you'll-
going to say though,
It's good. You'll enjoy it.
Natasha, if you like Monkeys or you like Better Man, did you see Monkey Man with Dev Patel?
Kids.
Yes.
My
What were
man.
your thoughts on Monkey Man was amazing, right?
I did like it. I thought it was a solid directing debut from him.
Yeah,
I
I've been trying to
wouldn't
get
watch
these
it
two
again.
guys
It's
to
not my
watch it.
sort of film, but I appreciate it.
Right, yeah, people called it like the kind of Indian John Wick sort of thing
Yeah.
because of like
Yes.
there's a lot of
True, I
clever-
bought it and I watched half of it and was like, I'm done.
That upsets
No,
me. mate.
you've
That really
missed the
upsets
best
me.
Sorry.
part.
Sorry,
You
it
get
just
better,
wasn't
dude.
really hitting. Maybe I was in the wrong mood. I've bought it, so I've got it, so I can just watch it
though.
again.
Watch the
Or
other
was it on
half.
Shudder? I can't remember. It might have been on Shudder or Paramount. I'm pretty sure I bought it.
It's
You need to watch the other half, man.
No, like you have to be in a right mindset to watch certain films. So, like, I
yeah,
still
'cause I
haven't
started
seen
watching
Peaky
The
Blinders
Substance.
because I just don't feel like I'm in the right mindset to watch it.
yeah.
Yeah, I watched The Substance off the cup before these guys spoke about it. And I got a bit in and was like, oh, I can't really be arsed with it. And then like they spoke about it and I was like, it's pretty cool. I watched it and was like, brilliant.
I was
Love it.
literally one of it was
Watched it
one
a
of
couple
those
of times, actually.
movies where I was watching it and I was on my phone like this, and I'm like, oh, like okay, yeah, and then
That
something
was my
happens,
issue, yeah.
and I'm like, the rest of it going, what is happening? It like
Substance is
suddenly like
epic.
got my attention, and I'm like, this is
You're
weird.
probably like me, Tash, that like you'll sometimes be sat in the evening with nothing to do and you'll be one day scrolling on your phone, you'll stick on a movie and you'll kind of it'll go one of two ways. You kind of either think, it's all right, whatever, or you'll be like, oh, it's actually really good. I should probably like just rewind that and watch it from the beginning.
I do. I rewind it to where my mind stopped, but that's the ADHD that is.
There's the connection
Yeah.
with you two.
Real. It's real.
Well, like I'm not going to speak for him, but if he didn't have it, would there be bigger concerns?
You know what? I keep saying this to people. Like, if I didn't have my ADHD, OCD, my Asperger's, the good old neurodiverse package, I wouldn't know who I would be. And I tell you what, I would be awful at my job if I didn't have them. I wouldn't be.
Yeah, I
able
don't know
to
if you've listened
multitask.
back to any of our I don't know how much our stuff you listened, but we went through a thing a while back. I won't go into it again, but we spoke about OCD quite a lot, quite in depth actually.
Yeah.
With was that with Emma back in the day?
Talk
I say
some.
back in the day. We've been doing this barely a year. We had Emma on, who's really good, and we went actually deep dives kind of into OCD and what the conceptions are from the TV point of view of like, oh, it's cleaning. In reality, it's got nothing to do with cleaning. It's all about what it is, and we kind of went a bit deep on that. But that's something worth maybe,
Yeah. Like,
retroactively looking
most
at. It's
of the
good.
people in the production team have some sort of neurodiverse thing going on because it makes us better as our job. Like, I would not be able to schedule and multitask and prioritize and be as organized as I am without my OCD and ADHD. There's just no way. I'd be awful at my job.
100%. I'd go as far as to say it's actually a superpower.
Oh,
Do
it
you know
totally
what I mean?
is.
Yeah.
Until I see something
Yeah.
flying past, I'm like, what's going on over there?
Yeah,
But
there's-
all good, like, production coordinators have this like exceptional eavesdropping capability, and that is purely down to mostly ADHD because they're like doing their job and they're like, what's happening over there? Something I must be involved in, something I must know, something is happening. And like, it works.
So I got a big question then, and Kevin, you ain't gonna like this, but Tash, what games are you currently playing at the moment?
just get the dog in.
I'm one of those weird people that likes to rewatch and replay things all the time. So I play.
Yeah.
I'm replaying Horizon Forbidden West again for like the 5th time, I think.
Funnily, I'm currently replaying Shadow of the Colossus. I don't know if you've heard of that one on the PlayStation. Did you get a Switch too? Did you say?
I'm refusing at the moment.
It's so good. I'm sorry. Did you have a
Don't
Switch?
want to buy Switch 2 just to play Mario Kart on a like slightly
Oh, I love
different.
Mario
I
Kart.
hate to say it, that isn't the reason. I can play the games that were so slow on my original Switch, like Tony Hawk's, and actually enjoy them because they're not so slow. And it's
But
funny
I'm
because the
not
Switch
old yet.
2's get some it's getting a lot of hate. Yeah, the Switch 2 version of Zelda just became the top rated game of 2025.
Yeah, I tried playing. I love Zelda. Zelda's like one of my favorite games. But this last one, Breath of the Wild, is it Breath? No, the one where you
No,
fly
Breath
in
of the
the
Wild's
air.
first. There's another one. Not Wind Waker.
Sweat of Tears. I can't remember. And
Whatever.
yeah, I lost interest. Like, and that's never happened to me on a Zelda game. I just found it
I think
way too complicated.
I
But I did
think
that with
my
the Tiny
benefit is
Man
I never
2 as
played
well.
yeah, I never played Mario Kart 8, so now I've got Mario Kart Worlds. It's like a big jump. But it's almost like the Switch was awesome, but it was slow. Like you've been on the Switch store, it's so slow. Whereas this, like
Yeah.
everything's just faster. It's like brilliant. And we didn't. I'll be honest with you, we didn't really pay for it. It was kind of like free. So
You've bought it so you can buy more games quicker. God, they really like made that angle, didn't they? They've just done that in their own
yeah, I
favor.
mean, from our point of view, from me and my boys' point of view, we didn't actually pay for it. It was kind of free. So it was like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
I'll take that. And now I'm like, oh, now I see.
I don't want
But
to annoy you any further, James, but I do get console for free, so maybe I'll just
yeah,
get it for
get
free off
one.
the company.
Get it. It's
I've
so
got my
much fun,
TV, yeah.
honestly.
PS5, please, Tasha.
And
Okay.
the GameCube games are brilliant.
I know. I put this on my ever since I've started working for the company. I've put this on my what's it called on my Tinder in my bio. I get free games.
Wow.
Come on a
It
date,
works.
I get free games.
Let the games begin.
That's so funny.
That's
Like
genius.
long walks in the park, Seek Similar,
Get free
XXX,
games.
free video games.
I don't mind if you play FIFA because I'll be playing The Sims over here. I'm a cat.
That's awesome.
It
That's
sounds
so-
like catfishing, doesn't it? You don't hear that very
Her
often.
profile picture on Tinder is just Donkey Kong. Or like,
So what sort
just
of
GTA
responses
6.
has that improved your responses, or got you more weirdos, or got you better people? You don't have
I
to
mean,
divulge
more
anything.
options.
Okay.
I'm
Nice.
super picky though. They have to get past a barrier.
Fair.
Brilliant,
It
brilliant.
works a lot better
Just a
than
little
like
hashtag at the bottom of all our photos that say I can get you GTA 6 before release.
Unbelievable.
True.
So it was worth moving industry then for a lot of reasons.
Well, the thing is that, like, I mention it and I joke about it, but it's nice to actually have the time to do this now because I'm mostly single because I didn't have the time when I was working in film and television to do anything else because I was working 14 hours a day. Like,
Yeah.
on the first day of my job in working in the film, they said to me, what was exactly her words? Do you have a life? Because you're not going to have one today. And she was right because when I started working in film and TV, I had no life. Like I had no social life. And only after I wrapped on a show, I could then see my friends and family again. And I'd only be able to see them for maybe like a couple of weeks. One day, like sometimes it's like 2 months when I'm free. And then I won't see them again for like another 6 months, like working on a cruise ship or something.
Or prison.
I was in
It's like,
prison.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'd make phone calls.
In creative prison.
Do you want to accept this call? This is your daughter. It's nice. Like, it's working in gaming it was the best decision I've made this year because I've now got a life. I'm now getting the medical treatment I possibly can to make myself better. And I've lost weight, which is great. Because when you work in the TV industry, you eat when you can. Like some days,
Crap.
yeah, I put on so much
What,
weight
crap
in
when
the
you
TV
can or eat
industry.
crap?
Yeah,
No,
because
eat
I'd
crap.
get stuff
Not
delivered. We'd all get stuff delivered to the office. And when you're working on set, you would eat catering. Like the catering that was available for you, you'd eat or you wouldn't eat at all. That was the idea. Like, so now that I can actually look after what I eat and I can look after, I can make the meals that I know that are healthy and stuff like that. Like most of the time it'd be chips every day. You know what I mean? So it's nice to have that option and a nice social life. I feel like you don't realize this sort of stuff until you're like, until you've worked until you're older, until you've worked a couple of years down the line, when your health and your life matters as well as the dream job. So I'm working in film and TV was my dream job, but my dream job turned out to be hell. It turned out to be an absolute nightmare. And part of me was like, oh, it'll get better, and it just didn't. And I don't think it's going to get better for a good long time. So I had to leave my dream job, and it was probably the best thing I ever did. And now I've found
That's
a
awesome.
job that I didn't even think about, and I'm absolutely loving it. Things just work out, guys.
Yeah,
I love that.
I think it's good for your health and good for your mental stability and everything. And sounds joyful, and you've got spare time to yourself. So
I know.
yeah, ticks
Play
all the
games
boxes.
all the time now,
Yeah,
Shut
at
up.
4
You're
o'clock.
jealous.
and I can
It's
go
connected
on
to-
my Instagram again. My Instagram's all make content for my Instagram account. Just loving life.
Watching movies, you can
Yeah.
review things.
And go to
Yeah.
the cinema.
Yes.
Well,
Welcome back. Welcome back to life,
Yeah.
Tasha. Welcome back.
well, before we go, I was thinking, what film is it you're looking forward to the most that's coming out this year?
Good shout.
Because your
This summer
background is
is
going to be
like
Marvel related or not?
action-packed. I'm so excited. I'm not gonna lie. Where's my
Well, you
list? Do you
mentioned
guys
dinosaurs, so I'm guessing Jurassic Park you're pretty excited
dinosaurs?
for.
Yeah, Jurassic
Well,
Park.
next month is
Do you
big.
guys do this? Are you nerds like me? I write down every movie of the year
Move it
in this
that way a bit.
this on notes.
That's it. Yeah.
You were like a female Kev.
Yeah, I
Is
write
it more
it
nerdy to
down.
write it
Oh.
in pen?
Yeah.
God, look
Oh,
how
dear.
small his writing is, by the way. It's like
His
an ant.
it's Stuart Little writing.
Have you ever seen writing smaller than Kev's? Kev, hold it up again.
Oh, yeah,
How
that's
ridiculous
that's
your
it-
writing
Very
this
impressive,
this
though.
year, just purely in the cinema each month.
Kev could write an
look how
entire
eco-
novel on a piece of A4.
And the
I love
LinkedIn
it.
account and my Letterbox account. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to keep up. Just want to make sure
Well,
I get everything.
There was an episode where Kev actually read out, I think he'd gone to like 70 or 85 films that year, and he'd read every one of them at the end of...
Is that it?
Yeah.
It was like the end of the year episode or something.
Is that it, Kev?
Is that what? In cinema, purely cinema.
Yeah, is that it?
Yeah, I unfortunately,
You got
I do
Kev,
have a
Kev
life.
Wright.
right, smaller than a borrower.
Battle.
I also
I
do have
thought
a life.
85 was a lot, but then she sees you at 85 and she raises it. How much do you raise it by?
I saw
Currently
8.
excited for 4
in-
films.
I saw
Probably
8
got a
in March.
post somewhere.
I saw 8 in March, but it's probably on average 5
Nah.
between 4 and 6 on average.
No,
per
to be
month.
fair, I've just gone on to my thing. It's less, so it's fine.
Kevin's
I
out
saw, last year, I saw 52 movies at the cinema, but that's just at the cinema.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's impressive.
But that's awesome though, because we were saying we need more people like you, Tasha, that are supporting cinema.
Yeah,
Because
but I used to work in one, so I just died, you know.
oh, Kev, yeah, when you went off, Tasha was saying she used to clip the bits together, like like in one of the what was it, Inglourious
Projectioner,
Bastards?
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, the projection list.
Sorry, I had to get the dog downstairs.
Projectionalist.
I stole.
Hey!
I stole the
We
whole
know I
trailer
totally
for
would.
Pirates of the Caribbean once.
You what?
I stole the trailer. You know, the reel.
No ways. What is that hidden away somewhere?
No, my ex-boyfriend stole it.
What?
Right,
You know how
let's
much
get
that money
him.
that probably costs now? Envious.
Isn't that karma? You got thieved.
50. Right, let's get
know.
him.
You thieved.
I've seen 193 films this year.
Wait, how many
Go on.
days into the year are we in?
I don't know.
Probably about that, isn't it?
Half.
Half.
You've seen a
back to
film
the
a
original
day.
question.
We're about
Oh,
just over 150 days.
I really can't wait for the Fantastic Four, you know.
I can't
Yeah.
wait for
I'm
it.
really
I like the whole,
sorry. I
like,
know
old
it's a
school
Marvel
vibe they're
film,
going with.
but it's different.
I like they've
Yeah,
gone
just
old
looks
school,
fun.
like 50s or
Yeah.
60s, whatever it is, vibe with it.
But it's
Well, I
like
wasn't
60s
expecting
futuristic.
it, so I'm
isn't it?
really excited to see how
Also,
that
how
goes.
much does the Human Torch look like a CGI version of a young Robert Downey Jr.? Does anyone else think that?
No.
The guy that plays Human Torch
yeah,
looks
that
like a
actor
really
does, though.
young Robert Downey Jr.
But that actor
What,
does in
Joseph
general
Quinn?
because yeah.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
looks
Yeah,
like
he
a
really does.
CGI young Robert Downey Jr.
He looks
which
like a
I
piece.
always think when I see him.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was like the X-Men Days of Future Past.
Yeah.
That was set in what era was that set? That kind of felt a bit similar to the Fantastic Four.
Was that
Well, that
60s?
was-
50s,
Yeah, but that was
60s?
Yeah.
actually the 60s.
Because they kept saying
Fantastic Four
groovy,
is-
man.
Yeah, Fantastic Four is not actually in the 60s. It's a different
Hmm.
universe, and it is 60s style, but futuristic. There's flying cars and shit.
Ah, okay.
Like,
Didn't even
it's
see
not
that.
Have you
actually
seen
the 60s.
Deadpool's in Doomsday?
What?
Yeah, Deadpool's in
See?
Doomsday.
I'm so excited for
Is he?
Doomsday, I'm not gonna lie.
I really want Wolverine in it. I saw a poster, but I
Yeah.
think it's like a fan
Yeah,
one.
he's coming back.
Like,
Oh.
Hugh Jackman's back.
Yeah,
So
he's
Hugh
training
Jackman.
Jackman
Is back.
is apparently
and so
the
is
loveliest
Deadpool.
man ever.
They're both
Like
back.
one of
Deadpool and
the
Wolverine are
girls,
back.
yeah, one of the girls on my production worked on Deadpool, and was looking after him, was like his PA, and she said that he's just like the loveliest man ever. The production kept asking her to like, go, be up at the same time he was up to like make sure he was all right and stuff. Like, so she had to go to the gym with him at 5 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, and he kept telling her, "You don't have to come here and do that." And she was terrified that she'd get sacked because if she wasn't there and caught that she wasn't there, so they made her go at like 4 o'clock in the morning to like do his workout to be with him when he does his workout sessions in the morning.
So her job was to watch Hugh Jackman get muscly.
Yeah, it's such a hard life.
get rid.
Well,
That's nuts.
we do the occasion. We try not to do them too often, but we do spoiler special reviews of like new films occasionally. We'd like to do ones of old films as well. But if we do like a cinema one where we've all seen it, James is a bit phobic of the cinema. But if we get a chance to all go, we sometimes do a spoiler. If you want to join us sometime to talk about just like a full 1 hour purely on that movie and offshoots from where the actors have been and stuff like that, if you fancy it.
Yeah, sounds good.
Fantastic. Well, we will hit you up next time then.
What's he doing?
No way, that's
Deadpool.
Doomsday. But is that legit or is it AI? Because people have been making loads of mock.
Nowadays, it could be AI.
I can't tell anymore.
Who knows?
And
AI
apparently
is
Hugh
just
Jackman's
blown
back
my
one more
brain.
time as Wolverine. And Deadpool have a small
One more
part
time,
in it.
every time.
I'm
He's
literally
going to do it till he's 90.
first showing of that movie of a Marvel movie. Like I would literally go.
It'll be the biggest Marvel movie since
very first
Endgame
showing.
next year. Yeah.
Yeah. It's 2027, guys. It's
They
out.
moved
Yeah,
it. They moved
26, I
it to June, the same day as June, because it's Doomsday.
2027.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, that was your thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's with,
June
Yeah.
3.
Honestly, that's going to be like the biggest day.
I don't know what it is,
Doomsday.
but June never sounds exciting. It sounds boring. It looks boring. And when you watch the film, you're like, this is amazing. But
See,
I wasn't
thought the first one
excited
was
to see it.
rubbish.
First one was a bit slow. Second was amazing.
The
I was
second
sat
one
there
was
with
good,
my
except
dad,
they
and I was
made
like, Dad, I'm bored.
they make
But the
old
second one, I was
thingy
all in.
Yeah, it's like,
Thingy's character with the
Austin
bald
Butler.
head looked so hard for the
Austin
old
Butler.
film, and he's got his ass kicked.
Yeah. Right.
Rubbish,
Well, we're
right?
gonna have
Austin
to
Butler.
to end there. Otherwise, we're gonna take up all of Tash's evening. But thank you, Tash, for joining us. And I'll let you know when this episode goes out, and hopefully we can have you back on again because you've
Brilliant.
got such a great setup and you've got a new
Oh.
microphone and everything. So
I
you
do.
need to make use of it.
Just need to sort out the lighting. I don't know what's happened with my lights, but my lights have
Lighting looks
died.
all right.
That's all good.
If for any doubt, get a ring light right in your face.
I
I've
have
got one
two.
right
There's
there.
one here and there's one here.
Ah.
But it's the lights. These lights have gone off, and I don't know why. Alexa's angry with me.
No, it looks all right. Plus, whatever you're seeing, the AI
Tightens it,
boosts
doesn't it?
up a little bit once we edit it.
Yeah,
So
I'm
it'll look
good.
even better and
Get my good side. Oh, let's see. Alexa, welcome me home.
Just
She's
start-
angry
bitch,
with
isn't
me.
she?
Such a cow.
Sassy little bitch.
The funny thing,
Wrong job. Turn my lights on.
I was expecting when you said that for all our lights to turn on in all our houses. Though.
Wait, you got Alexa?
Yeah.
Alexa,
All the Alexas talk to
Alexa,
each other.
Alexa, play fart noise.
Did it do it?
So disappointed.
No,
You know-
something's happening with Tash. Is it playing it?
Stop doing fart noises.
What your side?
Yeah,
Alexa, stop.
I heard. It's still going.
That is genius. That is genius.
Oh,
You know, if you whisper as well, if you go, Alexa.
No, leave her alone. Shut up. Don't listen to her.
Here's
Don't
something
listen to her.
funny to sign off with.
Yeah.
Tash, I got a little 6-year-old, and when he was like 4 years old, he was hanging out with his cousins at his granny's house, and they were messing about the Alexa playing, "Oh, play fart sounds." And after like
Yeah.
4 times of them saying it, they were like, "Do you want to unlock, or do you want to pay for the fart sound like bonus edition or whatever else?" And they were like, "Yeah." And Mum was like, "I just got a notification from Amazon saying I played like extra, how much, like $2.99 or $3.99 for like fart sounds." It's like. They'd be
Oh,
like, play a wet fart,
no.
play like a deep fart, all this sort of stuff.
you
Oh,
can't be
no.
angry at a kid for that. That's great.
Funny.
Brilliant.
Amazing. Well, that was a great ending. You can't ask for a better ending than that.
Yeah, go out with a fart or a bang.
Thank you very much for joining us, Tash.
Okay.
Awesome.
This has been Rage Whale. Thanks for hanging out with us. We hope you had a whale of a time.
Oh, wait! Just before you head off to listen to another one of our episodes, I'm not going to ask you to give us a follow and a 5-star review or follow our social media such as Instagram and TikTok and YouTube, although that is your choice. But we would like to tell you about a new website we have called ragewhale.tmill.com, where you can get some merchandise to support us. Hoodies, t-shirts and mugs. There is a link here and on our social media profiles. Thank you so much for listening again. See you next time.